Hello and welcome to the Ask Dr. PIckel show. All right, welcome again. This is, of course, where we help people find answers to their chronic health issues, chronic health problems. All right, and today we are going to talk about some supplements, 7 supplements in particular that seem to work well, not only clinically, but even shown in the research for people who have diabetes. So let's just dive right in with these and go through these here. Just one moment here. Let me get this going. All right. Let's change this too. Okay. So, with diabetes, and if you don't know much about it or you need more details on diabetes itself and some more information, go to one of our past videos, actually a few of them, that talk more about diabetes and some of the things that are involved with it that you may not know. Most of that information doctors don't tell people a lot about. And so, but we want to give you some more information today on some things that can be helpful. Because remember, what happens with diabetes type 2, pre-diabetes, insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, the thing is blood sugar is going high. You eat something and it causes your insulin to surge, and insulin at high levels is pro-inflammatory, meaning it causes inflammation. It's like pouring gas on a fire. And then what happens is your cells go, whoa, don't do that to us, because in your cells, there are these little doorways called receptors where insulin has to come up to and say, hey guys, here's your blood sugar, and it delivers it, and the door should open and let it in. But if you got large amounts of insulin, then what happens is those little doorways, they close and shut down, so they don't let it in. So now all that insulin, which is like a taxi cab for blood sugar, is floating around in your bloodstream. The body says, hey, can't do that. Those taxi cabs can't be out there. That's creating more inflammation and creating problems. So take all that blood sugar and store it for later and don't use it. And then this is why your triglyceride levels go up. Inflammation levels go up, all kinds of other problems can happen. And when that blood sugar gets stored, typically in the liver and the muscles, but if you have too much of it, it can start to store in other areas such as nerves, and that can create a lot of damage. So again, there's all kinds of issues that can go along with diabetes. So that was just kind of a brief thing. So what can be done? Actually, there's a lot of things that can be done, but these are just a few things. There are so many things that can be done that are so helpful that we see with our patients, but I just wanted to highlight a few of these things. All right. So the first one on the list that I like is called Resveratrol. All right. For some reason, my thing's not writing very well. Let me see if I can make that just a little bit better. That's supposed to be my eraser. Obviously, it's not doing its thing. Let's see here. If we click the undo, then we'll switch back to this. Resveratrol. All right, so resveratrol is a botanical. I'll tell you, its biggest thing is it acts as an anti-inflammatory. And when people have diabetes, they're very inflamed due to these insulin surges, due to the damage that the extra blood sugar is causing, and inflammation starts to really rise throughout the body. There's all kinds of secondary effects to high blood sugar that can cause a lot of inflammation. So we've got to bring that fire down, not only throughout the body, but especially in the gut. And resveratrol does a great job of that. The problem with resveratrol is you need a good form, because a lot of it that you may get at the store doesn't absorb very well. So there are forms that do absorb really well. So you need to look for those. And of course, we can help you out more with that. The next one on the list is called Berberine. And maybe you've heard of this, maybe you haven't. It's another botanical. Berberine's pretty neat. There's a lot of research on berberine with diabetes, blood sugar issues. It's interesting because berberine also can help to decrease insulin resistance, meaning it opens those doors so the blood sugar gets in better to the cells. But it also is anti-inflammatory. Also, interestingly enough, it's antibacterial. So it actually does a lot of other things too. If you start reading about berberine, you're gonna say, hey, that's a pretty cool thing there. So again, it's another great one that seems to help out a lot. All right, the other one is short chain. Wonder why I'm having trouble here. Fatty acids. All right, that took a while for that to write on there. Short chain fatty acids. So these short chain fatty acids, these are what are called butyrate, propionate, and acetate. And you don't have to remember that. But again, if you look at the ingredients, that's usually what you're going to see on those things. And these usually come from high fiber foods. And basically, our gut loves this stuff. This really helps the health of the gut. It's like fuel for the gut, helps the good gut bacteria. We need that gut working well, because one of the bigger reasons that doctors don't tell people that they have diabetes isn't because all the time they're eating. Now, again, it could be because you're eating junk all day, but the other reason can be that you're not absorbing what you eat. Because some people say, gosh, I try to eat so healthy. Why is my blood sugar so high? Well, if your gut's inflamed, you won't absorb a lot of those healthy foods, those bigger molecules, the proteins, fatty acids, minerals. You will absorb the sugars and carbs really well. Now, these short chain fatty acids are going to help with the health of the gut, so that gut can keep its absorption going. So you absorb those bigger molecules, proteins, fatty acids, minerals. So again, that help. They're like the longer burning fuel, like the logs on the fire that don't release, the blood sugar doesn't hit your system so fast. If I eat a piece of candy, that's like that sugar just goes straight through my gut. It doesn't have to go through a digestive process at all, and kabam, my blood sugar spikes. But if I eat a piece of celery, yeah, that's going to release blood sugar as it goes through my gut slowly as it breaks down. And again, more of a steadier flow, steadier insulin release. So these short chain fatty acids, great stuff. And then the next one is called glutathione. Okay, so glutathione is the mother of all antioxidants. I mean, this stuff is powerful. It beats out vitamin C. It beats all of them. It's extremely important stuff. Our body actually makes it, but if we have chronic inflammation, chronic health problems, autoimmune conditions, we deplete our glutathione. We can't recycle it faster than we need it. So sometimes taking extra glutathione can help. But here's the problem. Glutathione is a big molecule. It doesn't absorb well. So a lot of forms of glutathione that you get, they're going to end up in the toilet, and you would have to take massive amounts to get them in. So with glutathione, even the liposomal forms are a better absorption. And actually now they've came out with a new form that they just came out with, that I just learned about here last weekend at a conference. I'm amazed with it. It has an extremely high absorption rate. I won't go into all the details with it, but this form of glutathione I'm extremely excited about. But glutathione, again, it's going to help get the inflammation down, not only in the gut, but throughout the body. One of the big keys with diabetes is getting inflammation under control. And this is going to help get especially what's called oxidative stress under control, which is destruction in your body. So glutathione, very, very important. Another one, kind of an interesting name, Gymnema Sylvestre. And maybe you've heard of this, maybe you haven't. It's another botanical, an herb. Now, Gymnema, also, if you look in if you Google it or whatever, look in the research on it, it's pretty neat herb there. It also decreases insulin resistance. And it also decreases sugar absorption. So when you eat the sugars, it helps to not absorb so quickly or get in as easily. And it has a lot of other neat properties too about it, if you look it up. But again, can be really good for getting that blood sugar under control, preventing these blood sugar surges, these insulin surges that we don't want to occur. Another one here is, I'm going to write just EFAs. And what does that mean? Essential fatty acids. So essential fatty acids, these also could be called, the ones that we want, EPA and DHA. Now, most likely you've heard of this, and if you have, it's usually from fish oil. But if any of you know me, I'm not a big fan of fish oil. Number one, fish oil has mercury in it. So to try to get all the toxins out of fish oil, they distill it. Well, as soon as you raise the temperature of fish oil, you ruin it. It's not effective. It's junk at that point. But you have to distill it to make it, to detoxify it. Because if you don't distill it, it's full of toxins, and even more than mercury. So really, there's no way to win with fish oil. It's just not good for you. And I know that's, to some of you, that might be a big, wow, what did he just say? Well, maybe we'll have another whole show just on fish oil, but I won't get into more of that today. Now, the form I prefer is called algae oil. And this stuff is fantastic. Doesn't have mercury or toxic loads. This stuff is on the very bottom of the ocean. This is what the fish eat. That's what gives them the oils that turn into the fish oil. So why not go to ground zero there? So again, algae oil, really great stuff. So that's very important there. All right, what's another one here? Number 7, chromium. And there's different forms of chromium. And different types of chromium supplements. But chromium also has been in the research for a long time. Chromium's been around forever as far as a supplement. And also, what does chromium do? It also helps decrease that insulin resistance. Some people react a little more to berberine, or maybe say berberine bothers them, so they'll take chromium. And some people, chromium bothers them, so they take berberine. Or you know, some of these supplements can be varied. It doesn't mean you take all of these, but certain ones are going to be more effective for certain people. And that's the thing, is you don't just go online and say, hey, what's good for diabetes? I'm going to take it all. No, you've got to, because Joe who has diabetes is different from Mary who has diabetes. You know, every person is different. A diagnosis is just a label that's put on you because your blood sugar level showed high. So it doesn't tell you the cause. It doesn't tell you what's underlying it all. You've got to go to the cause, find out what it is and what works best to help get that under control. Now, I know this is 7 here. We've gone through these 7, but I want to add one more thing. I'm going to call it the bonus. All right. And what is that? Everybody's like, what is it, Dr. PIckel? What is the bonus? All right. So this is what I would call and this is something you don't have to buy as a supplement, diverse veggie smoothie. Okay, now what is that? Okay, so what you would do with this is, you know, you need blender, smoothie maker, or something, and you're going to take a bunch of veggies that you don't ordinarily eat, and just throw them all in there, grind them all up, make a smoothie, make something, and get it down each day. And that is loaded with minerals, but also it's loaded with fiber. Fiber is extremely important. This is where we get these short chain fatty acids. This is where we change that. This is when you have fiber with your food, it prevents the blood sugar. It dulls the response of blood sugar hitting your system. So if your meal has fiber in it and it also had sugar in it, that fiber is going to block that sugar from just hitting your system so fast and surging your blood sugar. But again, this fiber also really good for those good gut bacteria. So many advantages to this for the bowels, for the blood sugar. Veggies are great for you anyway. So this diverse veggie smoothie is a good possibility to start with. And especially because many people don't eat a lot of veggies. I mean, if I go to the grocery store and you go in the produce department, it's never low. It's not like they're out of all their veggies. That's very rare. Now they're out of a lot of other things like potato chips and stuff like that all the time. But again, you know, you got to switch your mindset. You've got to, and what I find is people start to eat better. They get healthier. They start to crave those good things and less of the bad things. So learn more about these nutrients. Don't start taking nutrients right away just because of this video. Make sure that you speak with your doctor, or make sure there's no interactions with any medications. And you can find out more online. I hope everybody enjoyed today's show, and have a wonderful, wonderful day, and God bless.